Hello there. The UK government collapse was triggered just triggered a financial crisis. And expanding debt without a care, that was a thing of yesterday. After just 6 weeks as Britain's Prime Minister, Liz Truss was forced to step down on Thursday amid a government crisis. The resignation was inevitable after she wreaked havoc on financial markets when her fiscal initiative to boost economic growth failed. She did not manage to save herself by dismissing her close confidant, Chancellor of the Exchequer Kwasi Kwarteng, though. He was blamed for the crisis, although the mini budget that triggered the crisis also bore Trust's handwriting. Nor was the rapid reversal of virtually all fiscal measures by Kwarteng's successor, former Secretary of State Jeremy Hunt, able to prevent her government from collapsing. In her resignation, she said that she took office with a vision of enabling high growth through low taxes, but she was unable to fulfill the mandate for which she was elected by her party. She had previously publicly admitted mistakes to the BBC. I wanted to do something, help people with their energy bills, and tackle the issues of high taxes, but we went too fast, too far. Liz Truss' new government had hit some of the right notes. For example, Kwarteng announced that the new government would be courageous in promoting growth. He promised that it would cast aside the same old economic managerialism that gave us a stagnant economy. Instead, the focus will be on how we can unlock investment and growth, not how we tax and spend. It was about increasing the size of the UK economy, said Kwarteng. But how you do things isn't point two. Contrary to his claims, the budget he presented was principally geared towards stimulating demand and consumption rather than supply side reforms or structural changes. The highly expansionary fiscal policy included an energy price cap of around £150 billion, 10 billions of tax and social security contribution cuts over 2 years, and new tax incentives for investment. Although tax cuts of around £45 billion served as the flagship of the mini budget, these were more of a symbolic nature as they could hardly have made a contribution to growth on this scale. The government had raised expectations that this budget would allow for substantial policy change and even new thinking. However, the reaction of the Tory party, but also of many citizens and in the financial sector, was a mixture of confusion and alarmism, because the government largely left open how the huge budget would be financed. The budget unleashed chaos on the financial markets in no time, forcing the Bank of England to intervene. After the pound lost significantly in value against the US dollar, but also against the euro, it raised the key interest rate by 0.5% to 2.25%, the highest level in 14 years. Nevertheless, the pound continued to fall for the time being, hitting a record low against the US dollar on September 26th. To further contain the crisis that has threatened entire pension funds with bankruptcy, the central bank committed £65 billion to an emergency bond buying program. By October 14th, when the program was scheduled to expire, the bank had spent $19.3 billion. Now Rishi Sunak has to pull the card out of the mud as new Prime Minister, which he is for a few minutes when I'm filming this. This episode shows that the times are over when European governments could increase public debt relatively carefree, and this was possible without a reaction on the financial markets. Some are still able to do it, like the German government at the moment, which is doing a lot with new debt, but the way you do things, as I said earlier in the video, are important too. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.